What's up, everyone? Welcome to my channel. I am very PO'd at the United States Postal Service right now because I was planning today to do a review of 4 pallets that I have coming from BH, and unfortunately, yesterday when I checked the tracking, it was in Maryland, and somehow this morning it wound up back in California. I have no idea what's going on, but I'm like, "Urgh." So in order to salvage this filming day, I went to Walmart and I got some stuff that we can chat about. Also, it's Halloween, so happy Halloween. Anyway, let's get started without further ado. So the first item that I want to talk about is a cream contour kit. It's the CoverGirl, the True Blend Contour Palette in Shade Light. Now, I bought this. This was like $4.97 at Walmart. I bought this because I've heard terrible things about it, and I wanted to try it out for myself because the number one complaint that I've heard from other YouTubers and that I've read online about it is that there's very little pigment in it. Now, that should not surprise you coming from CoverGirl because frankly, I have had very bad luck with CoverGirl as a brand throughout the years, and I do find that their products lack pigment. However, because this is a contour kit, I was thinking maybe this is actually a blessing in disguise for me, seeing as how I am so fair that I'm practically clear, that maybe this will be a nice subtle cream product that I can use as it's drier out as we're going into winter without looking like I did finger paints on my face. So let's have a look at this thing. So you get 3 cream shades. You have a highlighter, you have a contour color, and then you have this bronzer. And the bronzer is slightly shimmery. It's super slight though. You probably can't even see it because it's hard for me to see it like when my face is like this, but it has a slight golden shimmer to it. And then the other 2, this has a bit of a pearl to it, but this is kind of a matte contour shade. And if you notice, this is cool tone, which is super important because you want shadows on your face to look like shadows, and shadows are cool tone because they're kind of gray. So I was super excited to play with this, and folks, I gotta tell you, I like it. I'm wearing it right now. Check out the cream contour, yes. Now, this is a very minimal makeup day for me. I'm wearing almost no makeup. The only reason I'm wearing makeup at all is because I was gonna film and I had to go to Walmart and get stuff to film about. So as you can see, I have almost nothing on my face, but I do have a neat little contour thing going on there, which I am pretty excited about. The texture of these are very thin. They are basically light as air. You can't feel them on. And they do have very little pigment in them. But girls and boys, if you're pale, if you're like me, if you're super pale, that can be a blessing in disguise. Sometimes I find when people that have like a medium skin tone or darker skin tones, if they hate something because it lacks pigment and it's like a facial product, like a contour kit, as case may be, I'm like, oh, maybe that would work for me because I'm so fair. And in this case, I was right. So let's see if we can get some swatches to show you on the camera. So this is the highlighter. Again, you can see it's very translucent. It's not opaque. It is not a high beam kind of product. I would call this a luminizer more than a real highlighter. It's a slightly cool toned champagne shade that basically blends away to almost nothing, but you can see how there's that subtle glow as you turn your face. You have this subtle radiance going on here, but it is very subtle. But again, I think that's a good thing. The contour shade is a taupe. It's very, very cool, and it blends really easily. I just, used the finger and went whoop, and then just blend it out. You could also use a beauty blender to blend it out. And then the bronzer, I am not wearing. The bronzer is here, and it is a light bronze color with like a slight pink cast to it. It's basically the color of my fingertip. I was gonna swatch the bronzer on my hand, but honestly, because it's so close to my skin tone, here, I'll do it anyway, but you're not gonna be able to see it because again, it's so close to my skin tone. Let's see if I put it on my other hand so you can see it. You'll see the shimmer more than you're gonna see the actual bronzeness. It's hard to see. I didn't buy this for the bronzer, you guys. Could I use this as a bronzer? Maybe, but really I got it for the contour and maybe also for the highlight, but it was this color that I was excited about trying. And look, check it out. Not bad. Not bad at all. And I have a little bit here too. Probably could have maybe blended it in a little bit better than I did. But are you picking up what I'm putting down here? If you are super pale, and especially for when you're having kind of a no makeup day where you are wearing makeup, but you don't really want to spend a lot of time and do a full get ready, but you just want something to kind of accentuate the contours of your face a little bit, for under $5, check it out. With that being said, if you are darker than very pale, if you are like, because they come in, there's a light, a medium, and a dark. If you are like Jennifer Lopez skin tone or darker, forget it. These do not have enough pigment. But if you are super pale like me, get the light. If you are a little bit darker than I am, get the medium. And if you're a little bit darker still, but you're still kind of white, you could maybe do the dark shade. But just word of the wise, I have never come across anybody, especially on YouTube, who has substantially darker skin than mine that likes this, which is the exact reason why I love it, because it's just enough pigment for those of us who are super, super fair. Moving on to another highlighting and contouring kit. Bam! This is the Hard Candy Look Pro Contour and Sculpt Kit. Now, you may remember a couple of videos ago, I reviewed the strobing kit. It's in the same series. This one's in this hideous pink tin. This one, fortunately, we get a kind of bronze colored tin. So again, you have a metal container with plastic here, and they give you some fairly detailed instructions on the back, which is kind of nice, especially if you've never done any kind of highlighting, contouring, bronzing, strobing before. It's useful. Then we open it up and you get a double-ended brush. You get 3 cream shades and you have 2 powder shades, which is somewhat unusual, I find, in a drugstore product to have a combo of cream and powder, which is kind of cool. Let's talk about the brush first. Like with the strobing kit, this brush, for being a drugstore brush, is not bad. It's not the best brush ever, but it is not bad. You have a flat-topped cream product brush. It's firm bristle, and it kind of is, it's got this like pinched ferrule there, so it's not completely round. It's fat if you look at it this way, it's thin if you look at it this way. And then you have the other end is also very, very firm, and it's kind of pointed, and it's more of an oval shape. So you could get like really in here, or if you wanted to use some of the highlighter to go in here, you could do that. So this is actually a pretty versatile brush. So in here, this first one, you have a peach toned prep product, which is designed to correct under your eyes if you have any kind of dark circles. And this product, the consistency is much stiffer and thicker than the CoverGirl. So this is, and it's stickier even, and it's also, do you see how much more pigmentation there is? So this is really designed to cover up discoloration. And then we have an illuminator here, which is yellow toned, which is supposed to highlight and illuminate under the eye area and kind of going down to the apples of your, well, not to the apples of your cheeks, but you know, down toward the apples of your cheeks. Very, very heavy pigmentation. And then you have your contouring color, which is, again, it's a cool toned contour. It's a little bit darker than the one in the CoverGirl, a little bit. So this one probably gonna need to use a little bit of a lighter hand. And then we have these 2 powders here. So this is kind of a bronzer shade that you can use on the sides of your face. They recommend like along your hairline. And then there's a highlighter, which you can use, of course, in your highlight areas. So you can go on your cheekbones, your nose, your forehead, your cupid's bow, your chin, wherever it is that you want to highlight. So this is the bronzer contour shade, or bronzer blending shade is what they're calling it. And then this is the highlight shade. We're talking about a lot of pigment going on in here. I think the main potential drawback is that these products are thick and they are heavy and they are stiff. I find when I apply a cream product that is very stiff and heavy, that I actually don't like to use a brush at all. I like to warm the product up on my fingers like so, and then pat it onto my skin. So let's see if I can get it to cooperate here. Okay, which shade is this? This is, I'm going to use the base shade first here. Let's see if we can get you guys to see that. So yeah, so it's going on. And once you smooth it out, it doesn't feel sticky, and it's not sinking into my pores or fine lines or anything like that. And then putting the next shade, the kind of highlighting shade for under the eye. Again, it's a very smooth application. For the contour cream, I'm just gonna try to put that here. See, look at that. And it's blending out smoothly too, you guys. So you can shear it out. That's probably about the amount of pigment that I would want, but if you have darker skin, you could use a little bit more of it. Do you see what I'm saying? So if you are as pale as moi, or if you're a little darker, you could go with this kit, which is in the light to medium shade, and they also make one for darker skin tones, which is substantially darker. It's not for if you have an ebony complexion, for example. It's not that dark. Unfortunately, Hard Candy with their shades, they're not totally on that bandwagon yet. But if you are like J-Lo, you might be able to use the darker kit, because there just is substantially more pigmentation in here. Now this kit was a little bit more expensive than the CoverGirl. This was like $9 or $10. Still not bad for the amount of pigment that you're getting. And don't forget the brush. Even if you don't use the brush with these products, you can use it with your other products. You're still getting a decent brush, which is also nice and travel sized, really. It's not too big. I have been pleasantly surprised by Hard Candy lately, particularly with regard to their kits. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. If you are not already subscribed and you would like to be, please click the button down below or wait till the end screen and you will see my face up in one of these corners. I don't know which. I would love to have you guys on board. Thank you for those of you who are on board for taking some time to spend with me today. I really appreciate that. I hope you guys are having a great day, night, brunch time, whenever, and I will see you real soon in my next video. Bye!